Today I am doing a Q&A YouTube video. I wanted this to be a more fun YouTube video, so here we go. The first question is, if you could be in any movie, what would it be? It would definitely be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, because growing up I always wanted to be in that movie just to see the chocolate waterfall, and like you could literally eat everything in that room. And that's really cool. What is your major? I am majoring in psychology and Spanish. Minoring in global studies. I may end up dropping that. We'll see. Next is, what are your favorite Bible verses and why? Isaiah 61. One second. Okay, so verse 1 is verse 1 and 2. It's probably my favorite, but it says, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, for the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to comfort the brokenhearted and to proclaim that captives will be released and prisoners will be freed. He has sent me to tell those who mourn that the time of the Lord's favor has come, and with it the day of God's anger against their enemies." This whole chapter is kind of like a prophecy towards the birth of Jesus and what Jesus is going to do, and I think it's really comforting to know that Jesus was sent to comfort the brokenhearted and proclaim that the captives will be set free. And I think it's probably my favorite just because I know that's what Christ has done for me. Is I was a captive who has been set free, and so I think that it's now my mission, and it's anyone else's mission who's been set free to proclaim this. And then Isaiah 42, that's kind of the same, but those two go together, that I really like. And then also Psalms 27:4, it says, "The one thing I ask of the Lord, the thing I seek most, is to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, delighting in the Lord's perfections and meditating in his temple." And I love that verse just because that is what I want my heart to be. That is what I think our heart should be. It kind of just simplifies what our purpose is just to dwell in the house of the Lord, like just desire to be with him. And that's all. Like, that should be my number one desire. So that's something that I kind of look to remind myself of. Then, favorite high school memory. My favorite high school memory is probably dancing to Kelly Clarkson and the Jonas Brothers in my friend Casey's house. We literally just like tiptoed around the room like we were walking on broken glass, and like now that I look back on it, we were literally like the weirdest people I've ever known, but you know, it was fun. And yeah. Favorite Old Testament and New Testament books to read through. Old Testament would be Exodus, just because it has so much like symbolism, and like it's just a really cool picture to Christ and what he's done for us to release us from slavery, and I just like really love reading through Exodus. New Testament books would be Ephesians and James. I like James because it's really just straightforward. I mean, so is Ephesians. Ephesians is just like so encouraging, and I think like Ephesians is kind of just the gospel in one book. What is your favorite meal? So my favorite meal would, like, if I were gonna have a last meal, it would be a Thanksgiving dinner, or like just a homemade southern good cooking food. So like fried chicken, green beans, turnip greens, corn. That's good stuff. That's probably like my favorite meal. Okay, what is your favorite hobby? So this one, I don't know. I don't really have hobbies. That sounds kind of sad, but like I just have, because when I think of a hobby, I think of something that you're good at, that you do a lot, like knitting or something like that. I don't know. I just do lots of different things because I really like trying new things. Like I've tried knitting, I've tried crocheting. I don't know. I just like doing lots of different things. But if I had to give an answer, I really have recently especially loved riding my bike. Just like going on long bike rides. I love board games and card games, like, so much. I don't know if that's a hobby, but yeah. I like cooking. And then just like doing random crafts, like I paint on my wall sometimes. How has your college experience changed you? College has definitely taught me to invest in things for the long haul. I think that, you know, taking a gap year and doing missions for a while, it was kind of like I was going from place to place, and it was like, I mean, that's another question later, but it was so great, like the most transformational experience for me. But that was one of those things where like I was there for a few weeks and then left, and it was like I loved it. But being in college is so different because now I've been in the same place and have really been investing into people, and just for the long haul, not just to get up and leave. And I think that's good because I think that's the way that ministry is supposed to work, is to like really build deep relationships. So it's taught me patience. It has taught me to invest in people even when I don't see the fruit of it. And then it's also taught me to be more accepting of other people who are different than me or don't believe the same as me. I've learned a lot more how to relate with people who are from all different backgrounds, and so that's so valuable. Yeah. Okay, so the next two questions I am pairing together because they kind of go together. So it's, what is your dream job, and what are your dreams for serving God's kingdom? So for the first question, my dream job would be to be one of those people who travels around the world and rates like hotels and restaurants, and just, yeah, that's your job. So that is definitely my dream job, but I don't think that would be super fulfilling because I am definitely fulfilled in helping other people. So that leads to the next question. What are my dreams for serving God's kingdom? And this is also a hard question just because I have so many dreams and I don't yet know how they all fit together. I know that somehow they will eventually, but yeah, right now it's kind of just like a lot of things all over the place. So one of them is definitely working with women coming out of sex trafficking. That is like what my heart was drawn to in missions, is like working with those women who have been hurt, and like that's why I'm at school now studying psychology, is to be able to walk alongside them coming out of that and to find healing in a new life. So that is definitely one of my dreams, like one of my biggest dreams, is to be able to do that. And part of that is biblical counseling. I would love to do that. Probably won't do that immediately because that needs a master's, and I don't think I want to go to grad school right after college, but we'll see what happens. And I think it'd be really cool to have a counseling practice in the back of a coffee shop. That's super specific, but like I love coffee, and that would be really cool. I also would love to work for a nonprofit somewhere at some point. Maybe it fits together with missions because I want to do missions, and I also feel a connection to Latin America and Spanish and that culture, and so I'm studying Spanish. So yeah, it's just a lot, and somehow it'll all gel together one day. We'll see. Do you have any regrets? Yes. The first regret would be not going to the Justin Bieber My World 2.0 concert. Very specific. But on a more serious note, regret that I have is not being better at keeping up friendships that I've had in the past. I think that there have been friendships that I kind of let go, and I wish that I kept in contact with those friends better. What was your favorite thing about YWAM? My favorite thing about it was that it was time to get away and have to just figure out life between me and God, and that's it. I found identity, purpose, love of life, like so much, I just felt like I was where I was supposed to be. If you could have one special talent, what would it be? It would definitely be singing. Like, I love singing, and when I hear some people sing like Whitney Houston, like, I would just love to be able to sing like that, and oh man, wow. Do you have any tattoos? Yes, I have one tattoo. If you can see it. It says Treasure Hunter, and it has a rose. The words treasure hunter mean a lot to me. So I think that God created all of us with something specific in mind, a specific identity and purpose in mind. But because we're born into a sinful world that is just covered up by sin and everything around us, and we don't see that until we meet God, until we see ourselves the way that He sees us, the way that He created us. And the treasure hunter part comes in just because I feel like it's my calling as a Christian, and really anyone's calling as a Christian, to help people along to find that treasure, to find who God created them to be, and just to really uncover that. I mean, God is the only one who can ultimately dig that up and uncover the sin, but I think that Christians can have a part in walking alongside someone in that. And then the rose is because my outreach, we are focused in anti-sex trafficking. And one of the things that we would do is go into the red light districts and hand out roses to the women there. And I just loved that because I think that's kind of what God does for us, like has this beautiful thing that He gives to us that we don't deserve. And I just love that picture. So, yeah. And then dream vacation would be a road trip through Europe. Like, I just really want to do that. Even if it's like just staying in hostels, riding on trains, I don't really care. I just want to do that. The last question is, if you could change one thing, what would it be? I think the one thing I would change is that people would listen to each other better. Because, including myself, I don't think that people are really good at listening to each other and like really seeing the other person, seeing where they're coming from, what they're feeling, what they're actually trying to say without our preconceived notions. Yeah. And I think especially right now with everything going on, everything is just so political and polarized. Um, and I really wish that people would listen to each other better, that they would see the person that they are talking to as a human being, and not just look for where they're right and wrong. I would change that if I could change anything. So, but I can't. But I can change myself. So, I'm working on that for myself. Listening to other people better, seeing them as a person and seeing where they're coming from. So, that is all for my Q&A. Thank you for listening. I hope that it was just something fun for you to listen to today. Oh, there's my cat!